Hi everybody and welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be reviewing the frame collection, especially in the N98 composition. The special aspects of these composition and collections are, we can say there are two. One, it has a contemporary look which derives from the framed shape of the door, and two, it has this unique single color approach on every part of the composition. So first of all, we must point out that this is just an example of the sort of compositions we can create with the frame collection. For example, this one is 181 in width and 50 centimeters, 51 exactly, in depth and 75 centimeters high, but we have multiple possibilities in terms of modularity. For example, an easy alternative that we can convey and we can imagine, and it's actually possible to purchase it on the website, is that we can have a 121 composition with just 2 elements instead of 3, and this is very easy. So what makes it peculiar? First of all, this frame door. Okay, this is the MDF version. There's also an oak version of different product pages, and this is actually in MDF, so it's not real wood that create the perimeters. It's a single solid MDF panel with this carving all around it, and then it is matte lacquered in many colors. Actually, you have the old collection available, and on 12 of these colors you can create this stunning look where both the top, the backsplash and the sinks are actually manufactured with the same exact color of the lacquers. There's another detail which makes it a bit less modern and a bit more contemporary. It's the fact that it's not a suspended model, so it doesn't hang onto the wall, and the fact that when it's resting on the floor, it's not supported by an aluminium plinth like kitchens, for example, or other bathroom units which stands on the floor, while it goes directly onto the floor. Actually, there's a hidden plinth which is lacquered just like the other fronts, so you don't really perceive it, and the overall perception is of a unit which rests on the floor. Actually, if you look at the old composition, it nearly appears as a sideboard with sinks on top of it rather than bathroom furniture. So this is very peculiar. After years of bathroom furnitures hanging onto the wall, which are predominant in sales, after looking at cheaper bathroom furniture with the ugly aluminium plinth, this is a good alternative for who wants something that rests on the floor, but also wants something nice and peculiar. Just one thing to consider is that, for example, considering it's on the floor and it doesn't have a plinth, you must be a bit more careful. For example, when you're mopping the floor, if you could actually hit the lower part of the furniture and thus dent it, and so it requires a bit more care when you actually clean the room. So we said that the frame collection can give you a sort of total look. Why is this possible? Because here we have matte lacquer on MDF, we have open pore lacquer on a wood handle. Actually, its shape is quite peculiar. Then we have a special material which is Minera-Kolor, which is used for the top, for the sink and for the backsplash. So we have a total of 3 different materials which are colored with a set of 12 available colors, and so you can have striking bold looks like this one. This is a light blue. There's all sorts of colors with which you can convey this total look approach I'm describing. So I spoke about the Minera-Kolor material. Actually, it is a very practical material, and in fact it is used for the sinks, the countertop and the backsplash. Actually, the backsplash is an optional, and you can add it also when you have tiles on the back, but it is especially useful in a situation like this where I don't have tiles and I have a wallpaper. It might be a water-resistant wallpaper, but this detail actually helps. So here we have the touch and looks of matte lacquer with the resistance of a mineral material, and this is what makes it special. In this composition, we did set up 2 Niko mirrors, Actually, it can be combined to other compositions, to other models of the Atlantic collection. And the Niko mirror has this peculiar shape. It's actually quite compact because it is 45 centimeters and 15 centimeters deep. It's 97.5 total, considering starting from the lower part. When we open, we see that the storage unit in the back is actually rectangular, and the lower part of the mirror, which is rounded, actually serves as a sort of huge handle to open it. It's actually quite practical. In this composition here, we actually did set it up with one opening on the right and one opening on the left. The storage unit, you see, it's only 15 centimeters total. It cannot fit much inside it, but actually you normally place certain products. You don't need the bigger stuff, you place it underneath. And it has this convenient plug with a switch. Okay, this switch here is not actually active because here we have a single lamp in the middle. Actually, this is not sold with the composition. It's just an example of what you could do at your home. But let's assume that I did place on my Niko mirror a specific lamp here. I could control this specific lamp here attached to the mirror through a switch that I can place here in the middle on the wall, or if my switch is actually far away from the mirror itself, I can activate it from here. And here I have a convenient Schuko plug, which can use a Schuko or a standard European plug. What else? So we have, of course, a mirror door, because it's indeed a mirror. And let's see how it is built, because the inside, the perimeter is lacquered just like the base units, okay? We have an actual glass mirror in the front, and we have a mirror film in the back. The mirror film in the back, it's not as smooth and perfect as glass mirror, but it's actually convenient. It does look good, and it's actually convenient because by doing this I can still install the hinges, which it would be more difficult on the glass mirror itself. And when it is open, I can indeed reflect myself onto the film. So it's not as smooth and perfect as glass mirror, but it does work. We said that the lamp is not included, and this is just an example, and the same apply for both the taps that we see in this composition, because normally it's the client, our client, that provide for the tap. One thing that must be said is that we adapt the furniture to the tap provided by the client, and so in this case the hole that holds the tap is placed exactly behind the sink, but in our configurator you can choose whether to place it on the left of the sink, on the right of the sink, or possibly also on the wall. When you choose on the wall, it means that no hole for the tap will be placed on the top, and so the top will just have the hole for the sink and not for the tap, as we said. Let's focus on the handles. Here we said that we have these wooden handles which are open pore lacquered to match the color on the MDF parts. I like it very much because it actually underlines let's say, kind of, I said contemporary before, but I would even say this kind of 50s look, even pop look, I would say. But you have different handles from the Atlantic collections. I can remember there are certain mimetic handles that actually do rest on top of the door, and they are present, but they don't appear as much. They're not a statement, I would say. And there are bigger handles with stronger grips. Of course, they do appear more. And there's also the push-pull version. I don't really suggest the push-pull version. In the push-pull version, basically, you have no handle. I like it, for example, in a wall system, in living room. It could be on a sideboard. I don't really suggest it on kitchens or on closets for bigger doors, especially. But also in a bathroom, I imagine I have my hands wet. I don't like to have to press the door and to open it and press it again on the surface to close it. So I do suggest choosing the handle that you like most. So we've come to the end of today's product review on the frame collection N98 composition. We hope that you like the video. If you like the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps. See you next time. Bye bye.